Hello and welcome to Learning with Lulu. In this video we are going to be doing a fairly quick summary of chapter 18 in the Scarlet letter. Before we get started, make sure to share this video with anyone else that you know may benefit from a summary of chapter 18 in the Scarlet letter. And also be prepared to comment down below any of your thoughts or any analysis you may have on the events that transpire in chapter 18. In this chapter, Arthur Dimmesdale and Hester Prynne are in the forest. They have been talking and Hester has revealed to him that Roger Chillingworth, who is Dimmesdale's housemate and doctor and fake friend, I will say, he doesn't know he's a false friend, but that he is Hester's long estranged husband. The reason Arthur Dimmesdale has been suffering so much from this kind of unexplainable torment is because Chillingworth is trying to enact revenge on him for fathering a child with Hester. You know, it was this act of adultery. By the end of their conversation, Hester and Dimmesdale were kind of somewhat formulating this plan that they are going to leave to Europe, be a family. Finally, Hester, Arthur, and little Pearl. They're both very energized by this, very excited about it. Dimmesdale is like, I can actually experience joy once again. And Hester feels so freed by this plan that's forming that she even goes so far as to take off her Scarlet letter and cast it away from her. It says that in doing so, where the forest and the shadows therein had been kind of gathering around Hester, and Pearl even said, you know, oh, the sun is hiding from the Scarlet letter. It breaks out in like the forest is like full of light, and Hester is just so uplifted and illuminated and excited about the prospect of this future that they are talking about. It says that she casts off this stigma of hers. You know, this Scarlet letter that has been a punishment, also in some ways allowed her to go to parts of society that others are not allowed to enter. And yeah, it's this punishment that she turned into a little bit of a talent. You know, she embroidered it beautifully and she kind of allowed it to help her transform and grow. But she finally, it's almost like she was here, went here in life, and now she's ready to cast it off and like go to a higher level. She's enlivened by this. It says that she lets her hair down, which especially at that time, you know, loose flowing hair was, I think I'm safe to say and go so far as to say that it was almost provocative, and you know, it's this attractive, beautiful thing. She is smiling, and some of that beauty that she had prior to all of the sad events in this book returns to her, and she's full of this passionate beauty. In true loving mother form, she begins to talk to Arthur Dimmesdale about Pearl, and she's ecstatic that she's able to do this with such welcome to it and it being so received by the other party, especially being that the other party is the other parent, you know, is the other creator of this beautiful child. She's happy that they are going to finally be able to, as daughter and father, know one another. It's, you know, she's done as much as she can for her daughter. Especially at the beginning of the book, we know that it was being talked about that Pearl might be taken away from her, and she knows that Pearl needs her mother, her biological mother, but it also shows this understanding from Hester that she needs that father figure in her life. You know, the feminine influence as well as the masculine, and Hester can only go so far in providing both. And also just the drain on energy and emotional well-being that must be. She's excited to have a father present in her daughter's life. At this point, Hester calls for Pearl, their daughter. Pearl, who has kind of similar to the ocean scene where she was kind of playing this imaginative game among the ocean tide pools. She's been playing among the forest creatures, and she somewhat, I don't know if it's so much nervousness, because Pearl, as we know, is a very rambunctious and forward, curious little girl, but she does approach perhaps with some trepidation of like what's going to be said. And we do already know that she picks up on things. I think she knows Dimmesdale is her father. I imagine seeing her mother almost in this changed state from the one that she's known her whole life to be presenting herself with, to see her changed from that. That's probably putting Pearl on guard. So she does approach a little bit warily. Pearl is approaching nervously, and as I said, perhaps because her mother appears so different. And remember, she has cast from her this scarlet letter. And over again, Pearl has been described as the physical embodiment of the scarlet letter. Even to the point that Hester makes her clothes that parallel the scarlet letter. There is maybe this confusion in Pearl at what is going to happen to her. You know, if the scarlet letter has been cast away, well, what about me? I have been so drawn to that. Even as a baby, it was the thing that she first reached for. It's got to put some questions in her mind. You know, in this book, Pearl very much represents the natural world. I have talked about that in the sense of how beautiful nature is. You do have to wonder, like, is Hester and Arthur's plan going to be successful? Is it made at the right time, at the right place? Because for Pearl to be wary is interesting, is perhaps concerning. You know, if the natural world is kind of like cringing away from this plan that's hatching, can it be that beneficial in the context of this book? I certainly don't think you can always apply that everywhere, but that's a whole other matter. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and I hope this video is genuinely helpful to you. If it is, make sure to like, subscribe, and as I said before, share with anyone else who might need a Chapter 18 Scarlet Letter summary. With that being said, I hope to see you back around, and bye.